Okay, let's get you more on this now. We now welcome SABC News International editor Sophie Mokoena was on the line for us. So, Sophie, has there been any reaction from Iran as yet?
Yes, Iran has issued a stern warning to the United States of America and Israel that it will retaliate. And we immediately saw those missiles launched from Iran and directed at Tel Aviv and other areas this time that were previously spared from the recent attacks by Iran. We are told by Iran again that they will also target the main airport of Israel. And therefore we expect that when those missiles land in Israel, we are going to see a huge damage this time around. Iran has also announced that much as America and the President of the United States of America is claiming that he has obliterated the 3 nuclear sites, there is no such. And the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, you know, the responsibility of this agency is to detect and to communicate with countries with nuclear capabilities and also warn the world in terms of the dangers thereof. The agency has issued a statement that they haven't detected the leakage of this dangerous chemical, but indicating that they will continue to monitor, which support Iran's statements, but not much damage has been inflicted, as President Trump claims. Now, for me, judging from this and what he has been saying, President Trump, building up to this, you'd recall on Friday he had lied. He lied. He said it will take 2 weeks before U.S. can take that decision, and it took that decision last night. I think they were trying to save face for Israel to find a way to stop the attacks on Iran because it was getting very difficult for Israel. Israel was experiencing casualties and destruction from the attacks directed to areas such as Tel Aviv. And you know that it was on Friday where even the Prime Minister of Israel did confirm that they are really being affected, even saying that he had to postpone his son's wedding because of this attacks. But people saying that he is all about himself. The real damage was experienced by ordinary people in Israel. And therefore, this might also be seen as a way out of this conflict. And that is why Trump is bold to say now peace talks must resume. In other words, he's aware that this is a way to get into the peace negotiations. But the problem here, Russia, China, and many other countries have now indicated that they will support Iran in self-defense. And therefore, we don't know what's going to happen. Earlier on, Trump even saying that he's willing to meet the president of Iran to discuss a possibility of peace. But we don't know what will be the reaction from the president of Iran and the Ayatollah in terms of what has happened now. But Iran definitely going to retaliate. The impact thereof not really known. And Iran also announcing that it is going to close the Strait of Hormuz. And therefore, those vessels going to Europe to deliver oil and supply chain will not be able to do that. And therefore, the supply chain around the world is going to be affected. That speaks to the rise in inflation. And just now, they also announced that the entire Red Sea there won't be movement in the Red Sea. And therefore, you are completely suffocating the global economy. We are not going to be spared either as South Africa and many other countries because of the challenges of supply chain, and we expect the oil price to go up.
And here's the thing, Sophie, as we have this chat as well, we can see their live visuals coming in right now for our viewers. And as you also say, you know, Trump himself says that talks must now begin. Is this a way in which he's trying to shift the goalposts in a way?
Yes, he is doing just that because he announced that the planes that were used or the capability used to attack Iran has been halted. Those planes are going back now to U.S. I think they've landed now. It was early hours of this morning, South African time. And therefore hoping that by miracle, Iran will say to its friends, perhaps in the Middle East or even Russia, that they are willing to negotiate. We are now focusing on Iran. The retaliation that they have announced, closing of that strait and also the entire Red Sea, the supply chain, inflation, oil price, these are the stories that we will be monitoring, and that will lead to what will be a way forward in terms of the negotiations. But Iran not backing down, and Iran emphasizing that it will retaliate. So it is really going to be a very long day, and of course it is going to be a very long night. I can imagine the tension right now in the Middle East, including the neighboring countries.
And you're speaking to some of the ripple effects of what's happening right now. And speaking of impact as well, what impact will this have on Donald Trump and the Republicans?
We know that Donald Trump was supposed to inform the Congress and get the Congress approval. He didn't do that. He only informed few Republican individuals within the Foreign Affairs Committee of the United States of America, which is the party he belongs to. He didn't inform the Democrats, and therefore the Democrats are saying he has violated the country's constitution, and many people expressing similar sentiments on social media, ordinary Americans, some even regretting voting for Donald Trump, because you'd recall his ticket on foreign policy was that he is going to push for peace around the world. And now here he is, he's involved. He has directly gotten involved with the conflict with Iran. We know they were supporting Israel, but they were doing it clandestine. Now publicly and practically he has entered the war. And therefore he can't go around and project himself as the leader of the world and a leader who stands for peace. And that's what Americans are saying. Now, you are going to have the midterm elections in the United States of America next year. And this is going to lead to a huge shift to the Democrats. The Republicans are likely going to lose the Congress. And if they lose the Congress, that noise of impeach Trump, a felon in any case, those noise is going to go up, and already people are saying he must be impeached, and therefore his only saving grace will be if the Republicans are again dominating the Congress, but it's unlikely. I think the Republicans are going to suffer a blow based on how Trump has conducted himself. Don't forget, including the issue of tariffs, already Americans were not happy, and now this. And really, you'd recall it was the very same Donald Trump who kept saying that the former president of U.S., Joe Biden, wanted to attack Iran. And he was very critical. Now it is him who has attacked Iran.
And I can imagine, Sophie, there's going to be lots of reaction flooding in. I mean, as it is now, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has expressed his grave alarm at the use of force by the United States against Iran. Has there been any reaction from the international community at this stage?
We saw the DPRK indicating that it will support Iran, and Iran has a right to self-defense. We know that that has been the view from Russia, the view from China, and you expect many other countries that are friends to Iran to express similar sentiments. On the other hand, those who are friends to Israel and the United States of America will compliment President Trump, saying that the action was taken as part of deterrence in terms of nuclear capability usage. And therefore, you will have this mixed reaction. In South Africa will take a posture of continuously calling for cool heads and for peace to be at the center, and the negotiations be given a first preference. As the president indicated on Friday, you would recall President Ramaphosa, after addressing the 30-year celebrations of the Constitutional Court, engaging the media, he indicated that South Africa's position is clear. Peace must be given a chance, and the military might can never be a solution, as South Africa has indicated on many occasions where you have these conflicts. And also in line with the South African foreign policy of a peaceful South Africa, peaceful region SADC, peaceful Africa, and a peaceful world. And therefore, I can't see South Africa moving. South Africa will continuously call for peace, because at the end of the day, ordinary people have died in Iran and in Israel, and now the announcement by Iran in terms of movements of goods, oil, and people in the Red Sea speaks to inflation, and it's poorer countries that are going to suffer, while the world is still trying to recover from COVID-19 because the supply chain was affected and the whole economy globally was affected. And we see nations grappling with their grappling in their respective countries with inflation, with cost of living, and also unemployment, and nations restless. And that is why even in South Africa, people are not happy, because the external factors can be detrimental to peace and security in all countries, not only where you have these conflicts.
Certainly will be a busy day, as our international editor Sophie Mukwena says there. Thanks very much indeed for your insights, Sophie, and she will be keeping tabs on this very important story as the day progresses.